De Niro's former assistant is combating returned after De Niro's organization filed a $6 million lawsuit against her in August, alleging she stole money and binge-watched episodes of Friends while she became on the clock. Robert De Niro, a mythical call in Hollywood, has captivated audiences for many years with his powerful performances and simple presence. But now a heartbreaking truth has struck his own family, leaving fanatics stunned and saddened. As his loved ones come collectively to mention their goodbyes, the world watches with heavy hearts. What has befell to the iconic actor? What devastating news has left his family wanting to step away? Join us as we uncover the shocking fact that appears to be pushing his circle of relatives away. On July 2nd, 2023, Robert De Niro's International Modified for All Time, his 19-year vintage grandson Leandro become discovered dead in his Manhattan apartment. The motive? A deadly drug overdose. We're learning what prompted the loss of life of actor Robert De Niro's grandson last month. The New York City medical examiner says it turned into an accidental fentanyl overdose. Leandro De Niro Rodriguez died on July 2nd. When the scientific report got out, it revealed a deadly mix of fentanyl, cocaine, ketamine, and different materials. Leandro had been following in his grandfather's footsteps, pursuing a profession in appearing. He even had a small position in the 2018 hit movie A Star is Born. But his promising future became reduced short some distance too quickly. De Niro, recognized for being personal and composed, was visibly shaken. In a rare second of uncooked emotion, he instructed People magazine, "It's only a surprise. I in no way concept it might occur. 2D. See overdose on wood fentanyl, so it's now not your form of bowled over and never notion it would show up. I never concept it might." Then simply weeks later, the tragedy took an excellent darker flip. Police arrested a 12-month antique girl named Sophia Haley Marks, accusing her of selling Leandro counterfeit prescription drugs. The pills have been speculated to be oxycodone and Xanax. However, they had been truly laced with fentanyl, a substance so powerful that only a tiny quantity can be lethal. Leandro's dying positioned a spotlight on America's developing opioid crisis. The Drug Enforcement Administration had already warned that nearly half of all faux prescription tablets tested contained enough fentanyl to kill a person. His passing became a heartbreaking example of how risky those pills are. It additionally reignited conversations approximately drug schooling, stricter prescription laws, and higher support for the ones combating addiction. As De Niro mourned his grandson, every other hurricane hit. In November 2023, he located himself in court docket, dealing with a huge lawsuit. His former assistant, Graham Chase Robinson, sued him for $12 million, accusing him of discrimination, verbal abuse, and harassment. Dueling proceedings filed among actor Robert De Niro and his former assistant. The young woman launched vulgar voicemails allegedly left with the aid of the Oscar winner, claiming that he was verbally abusive. Robinson had labored for De Niro for over a decade, starting as his non-public assistant and subsequently becoming a vice president at his organization, Canal Productions. But she claimed that in the one's years, she persevered irrelevant comments, unfair remedy, and even unwanted bodily contact. In courtroom, an explosive voicemail recording turned into played where De Niro can be heard yelling and cursing at Robinson. However, this prison conflict wasn't one-sided. Years in advance, in 2019, De Niro and his company had absolutely sued Robinson for $6 million. They accused her of stealing corporation cash, misusing price range, and even binge-watching Friends whilst at the clock. They additionally claimed she transferred 5 million airline miles worth, approximately 85 to her private account. The trial lasted 8 days. De Niro himself spent of those days at the witness stand. He denied ever abusing Robinson. However, he did admit to some of her claims. When asked if he advised her that his non-product teacher turned into paid grader because he had a circle of relatives to aid, he virtually replied, yes. When asked if he had ever requested her to scratch his again, he smirked and admitted, okay, 2 times. You were given me. After 5 hours of deliberation, the jury reached a verdict. De Niro himself turned into not determined guilty, but his corporation, Canal Productions Become, ordered to pay Robinson $1,200,000. The jury ruled that the employer had discriminated against her based on her gender and retaliated towards her after she spoke out. The case damaged De Niro's popularity and sparked debates approximately administrative center electricity dynamics, gender discrimination, and the way personal and professional limitations frequently blur in Hollywood. Just whilst it seemed like things couldn't get worse, every other crisis struck. In July 2023, De Niro's longtime accomplice, Tiffany Chen, confronted a terrifying health scare. Shortly after giving start to their daughter Gia, she started noticing something turned into wrong. It commenced with a peculiar tingling sensation on her tongue. Then her face started out to feel one of a kind, almost numb. One day she regarded inside the mirror and found out her face changed into drooping. Panic set in. Within days, her situation worsened dramatically. She could barely consume. Food would just fall out of her mouth. Her speech had become slurred. She rushed to the medical institution, wherein medical doctors diagnosed her with Bell's palsy, a circumstance that reasons facial paralysis. Most cases of Bell's palsy have an effect on handiest one facet of the face, but Tiffany's case was extra excessive. Both aspects of her face had been paralyzed. She could not communicate nicely. She couldn't smile at her new child baby, and she or he could not even kiss her daughter. The injury left her feeling self-conscious and annoyed. Commonly recognized for his difficult outdoors, stood through her facet, supplying assist.
He reassured her that she looked excellent, even joking that she just appeared a touch stern. Was Robert De Niro's route to achievement an easy one? Let's dive in and find out. Everything modified again for Robert De Niro on September 5th, 1960. That changed into the day he joined the Stella Adler Conservatory, one of the most famous acting schools inside the world. This wasn't simply another step, it had become the moment he sincerely commenced to apprehend the art of performing. He immersed himself in method performing, a way that could later turn out to be his signature. At first, he tried to juggle performing classes with nighttime faculty, hoping to complete excessive college. But that did not final lengthy, school not mattered. Acting changed into everything. From that point on, there was no turning back. De Niro's first movie function got here in The Wedding Party, directed by means of Brian De Palma. He became simply 20 years old whilst he filmed it in 1963, but because of legal headaches, the movie wasn't launched until 1969. This lengthy delay gave his debut an air of mystery, even though the movie itself turned into small, shot in black and white, and didn't make a great deal of an impact. However, it turned into a vital milestone. It became his first real step into the world of cinema. Then, in 1973, the entirety changed once more with Bang the Drum Slowly. On the surface, it became a baseball movie, but at its coronary heart, it was a deeply emotional story about friendship and loss. De Niro performed Bruce Pearson, a kind, however easy-minded catcher who turned into loss of life of Hodgkin's ailment. He failed to just play the element, he lived it. Determined to make his performance authentic, he spent months studying how to play baseball, even schooling with the St. Louis Cardinals. Every motion, every gesture had to sense herbal. When the movie turned into release on July 26, 1973, audiences and critics took note. They failed to simply see an actor, they saw a real man or woman. His performance became uncooked, heartbreaking, and deeply shifting. But getting the function wasn't smooth. De Niro needed to audition 7 instances earlier than eventually landing the part. The film earned $5 million, which became a huge success for a smaller manufacturing. However, extra importantly, it put De Niro on the map. Hollywood became, in the end, paying attention. That equal year, fate delivered him to a director who might alternate his life forever, Martin Scorsese. Their first collaboration became Mean Streets, which hit theaters just a few months after. At first, De Niro desired the lead role, but that went to his buddy Harvey Keitel. Instead, he was solid as Johnny Boy, a reckless, unpredictable gambler constantly getting himself into hassle. It turned out to be a really perfect in shape De Niro, introduced an electrifying electricity to the position. Johnny Boy wasn't just a person, he became a pressure of nature. Viewers couldn't take their eyes off him. Mean Streets turned into an uncooked, gritty film made on a small finances of simply $500,000. Shooting wasn't easy.